Before the movers had finished, another vehicle arrived. It was a very small white car, maybe the smallest car I had ever seen. I think it was electric, the sort of thing you'd see on a TV news program, but that never made it to Meaford, where people prefer pickup trucks and campers. It was awfully cute, almost like a toy, and it tick-ticked up the street and then pulled over to the curb. The door swung open and the driver got out. At least, he struggled to get out because he was very tall, and he had a hard time folding himself small enough so he could slip out of the car. Like I said, the man was tall. Really tall. He didn't look like a professional basketball player or anyone like that, because he was so thin. He wore a light blue suit and tan shoes, and a thin red tie. After he got out, he reached back in to pull a briefcase out of the back seat. That was about all the car could hold. When he closed the door, the car trembled. He strode quickly up the walkway, leaning forward a little like a stork, and then went up the porch steps. Even though I was sitting on my own porch right beside his, he didn't notice me. He paused on his porch, and I peeked around the little wall that separated his side from mine, and saw him take something out of his pocket. Whatever it was, he stuck it on the mailbox. Then he walked into the house calling to the movers, "Hello? Hello?" and closed the door behind him. I stood up. I could feel my eyebrows rise, the way everyone says they do when I'm curious. I have heavy eyebrows for a girl, that's a fact. My mom says they're gorgeous, and they give my face character. But someone else, someone whose name I won't mention just yet, said they make me look like a gorilla. The reason my eyebrows went up is that the man looked familiar to me. I got a good look at his profile when he walked up the porch steps. He had a high forehead, maybe because his hair was receding, and sad-looking eyes. And he had a very notable nose. It looked like a big triangle glued on. It definitely gave his face character. I decided to check out whatever he'd put on the mailbox. I tiptoed over from my side of the porch steps to his, and went up to look. Letters. He had brought 3 letters, the kind with sticky backs that you can get at the hardware store. They were lined up on the lid of the mailbox, an H, a C, and an A. H-C-A. That sounded kind of familiar. But who was he? Who was the man next door? 2. The family business. Back in the city, before I can really remember, my parents used to have regular jobs. My father, whose name is Larry, had been a driving instructor, and my mom, who is called Bess, had been the receptionist for a sign manufacturer. I had a genuine red stop sign on my bedroom door that my mom had brought home from work. Not that it kept my parents from coming in. But Dad had become terrified that one of his driving students was going to smash the car in traffic. And Mom had had a mean boss who complained about everything she did, no matter how hard she worked. And so, finally, they had packed up and moved us to Meaford so they could run their own business rather than work for other people. For a while, they didn't have much success. First, they started Bess and Larry's handmade soap company. But it turned out that there were about 1 million handmade soap companies. Then, they started Bess and Larry's wedding cake bakery. Until it turned out that people wanted cakes that were bigger and fancier than they could make in our kitchen. But they didn't give up, and the 3rd time was a charm, all because of me. They started Bess and Larry's live reptile food. You see, a few years ago, I asked